Well, what I'm about to tell everybody happened many thousands of years ago in the underground city that's located in the Grand Canyon. I was there with the other hikers and with a lot of people from all over the world. A lot of people there, they came and they brought the religion. My elders. My elders had many tablets, some made of jade, some made of stone, some made of paper wood, some made on wood, some made of animal skin, but they all had the words of the elders, meaning the religion. I was just a kid. I had the bad diarrhea from walking long distance in the desert and having to drink urine out of an animal skin bag to stay alive while crossing the desert because there was no water. Me, my father, my mother of ancient Pueblo, and the little blonde-haired girl hiker. We walked across the desert. And this was thousands of years ago, before any of you, or before any of your ancestors came here on a boat. There was no white people here on these lands. Anyway, I was in the underground city. I had the bad diarrhea, like I said, from drinking urine to stay alive. My stomach was all jacked up. A nice woman from Egypt. She was not black. She gave me the small corn inside of a woven basket. A woven basket made of wood, and it had some small corn in it. I was very happy eating the small corn inside of the underground city because the temperature was cooler than it was outside. Now I crossed a big desert, and the last place I wanted to be was on top of the surface where it was like 90-degree weather. So I was nice and cooler inside of the underground city. I collected many seashells from outside, and the elders were making art out of the seashells alongside of the wall in the underground city. I helped make the seashell art. I was collecting the seashells, like I said, so my elders can make the seashell art. I was helping. And plus I was also getting water. You know, being a kid, I had things to do too. Everybody helped in the underground city because there was about to be a great catastrophe to Mother Earth. Something was very close and it was going to hit Mother Earth. And we survived the great deluge of Mother Earth together as a family with all the world's religion inside of the underground city in the Grand Canyon. So at one point in our history, everybody was together, surviving the great catastrophe of Mother Earth, together as a family. All the world's religion together was brought together like a big giant jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces of the religion were brought together at one point in time. My father was helped paint. He was painting with the magic blue paint that I call the magic blue paint in the underground city. And I smiled and I said to my father, "This is the magic blue paint." And he smiled back at me. And he handed me the animal skin bag to go get more water for him to thin out the magic blue paint that he was painting with. Now, being a kid, I had paint because I was helping paint. I had the paint all over my face, my hands, my shirt, my pants. You know, kids when they paint, they get paint. You know, you can imagine kids getting paint everywhere, all over themselves when they paint. So I pretty much had it all over me. And Buddha was there, Thoth was there. There were some black people there. There was some Chinese people there. We were the only white people there. And we weren't even from the timeline. We were from the future. Us 50-mile hikers, the 7 of us. So we represented the white people of Mother Earth. And, also the Ark of the Covenant was in the underground city. There was a lot of people. And I was very happy. So very happy. Thousands of years ago. That was the happiest moment in my whole life. Was to be in the underground city with all my elders. Family. And the lizard man was there. He was like a brother to me. He was a lizard man. Now, me being from the 80s, a kid from the 80s was like, oh, wow, cool, look, it's a lizard man. You know, I wanted to see what he was about. So me and him, we became pretty much inseparable. He was like a brother to me. He helped me climb the slanted rock door in the underground city so I can get into the food, which wasn't allowed. There was to be no greed over the food, because we were going to survive the great deluge of Mother Earth together. Everybody had ropes tied around their waist real tight to make their stomachs tight so they wouldn't be so hungry. Because there wasn't a lot of food. There was a lot of seeds. And he helped me. He was about as tall as I was, and I was just a little kid. So he was very strong. I loved him very much. I don't know whatever happened to him. After I helped carry the Ark of the Covenant, before the Great Deluge, I lifted the Ark of the Covenant with the other boy hiker. I woke up in the middle of the night and it just called to me. Me and the other boy hiker, we both lifted up the Ark of the Covenant. All the elders were sleeping and we kind of creeped over them. And I didn't really creep. It was like I was dream walking. And I just walked up to it. And he just walked up to it following me. And we both lifted up the Ark of the Covenant. The little blonde-haired girl hiker, she was right there. She got too close as we picked it up and she got zapped. She laid dead on the ground. That woke the elders up and they started yelling at us, put the Ark down. And they threw 2 ropes, one for me and one for the other boy hiker. And they both had a loop around at the end of the rope. And the elders were like, put the Ark down, put your foot in the loop. Put your foot in the loop. Put the Ark down. Put it down. Me and him, we both looked at each other. I felt like I had all the world's oceans inside of me. A power. Like it was all the world's oceans inside of me. Like my eyes were on fire. And we put the Ark of the Covenant down. We put our foots inside the ropes. And the elders walked the rope to us and took us away from the Ark of the Covenant. I was made to stand, or actually sit, on the floor in front of a carving of Buddha that one of the monks of Buddha carved into the side of the underground cave room. So I was told to sit right there and just stare at it. I didn't know why. And all the elders started, fighting, and the little blonde-haired girl was taken away inside of a golden sheep fur. And she was resuscitated. And one of the men staff members came up to me and said, follow me. I thought I was going to get a spanking or get a whooping or something. And he brought me into this cave room Well, there were many things around in this cave room. A lot of stuff. A lot of the elders' stuff. And there was a man laying on like a rock bed in the middle of the stuff, but it was higher up or off the ground. It was like a rock bed made out of the cave room rock, but he was laying on top of it. I'm pretty sure that he was dead. He had a long beard and like a robe and stuff. And the staff member asked me, he goes, "Do you know who this man is?" I look at him, I look around at all the stuff, and I go, "No." He goes, "Do you know who this is?" I go, "No." And then there was this thing on the side of him. It was like a figurine. It had elders' words written all the way around it and a carving of a man in the middle. And then I opened it and it had more words written around it, elders' words. I didn't know how to read it. And another carving of the same man inside, and accidentally dropped it on the ground, and the bottom of it chipped. It chipped. And I picked it up, the piece, and I put it all together, and I put it back down, and I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to broke it." And he says, "That's okay." And then I walk into the cave room, and the lizard man is there with me. And then the catastrophe comes, and our cave room collapses. The doorway to our cave room, the entranceway to our cave room inside of the underground city, the doorway collapsed behind me, and the whole place was shaken. My father and all of us hikers and my mother, we all gathered around my father. He touched a tree root that was coming out of the ground. A tree root, a root like from a tree. He touched this root, and it started growing instantly, and it punctured an opening out of the underground city outside. And it was nighttime. I climbed up. First it was the lizard man that climbed up, and then I climbed up after him. And what I saw in the sky was that picture of the bad one. That picture of the bad one that I have. I saw his face in heaven. And when I seen his face, I ran as fast as I could. His voice was thunder. And he said to me, stay where you are, stand where you are, or stay where you are." And I can hear it in the thunder. And I was like, "Oh, heck no." I had my sneakers on. I started booking, started running. A day went by. One of my brothers of native, ancient indigenous came looking, hunting for me. He found me crying behind a very big boulder. And then a mountain lion found both of us and decided that he wanted us for dinner. And we changed his mind with many sticks and rocks that we threw at him. And I was taken back inside of the underground city. The elders had fixed the doorway. And we stayed in there for I don't know how long. All I remember after that is there was a commotion in the underground city. And I saw a giant like a praying mantis. But it was, the mantis was white. I seen into his face like I'm talking to all of you right now, this close. And I fainted right in front of the being that I saw. I fainted. He saw into me and I just fainted. And the next thing I know, I'm jumping off of the side of the cliff in the Grand Canyon into the water, off the side of a cliff. One of my elders excuse me, one of my elders, he has a boat, and I jumped towards the boat from way up high. I got into the boat. My elder, he had many seeds to grow food. The lady's staff member was inside of the boat, and the little girl hiker. And we went down the Grand Canyon, and we came ashore. I think it was a day and a night. We were in the boat, and we were to make a home for ourselves. We were to live there and spend the rest of our lives there. I think we were in Colorado. I was planting seeds. I felt like if I was Johnny Appleseed, I was planting all these seeds everywhere. I think I got in trouble for doing that. But it was to grow the giant squashes. It was like an orange squash. It was real big. It was an orange squash. And I was real happy to grow those kinds. I also collected more seashells, and I made a big mound of seashells on the side of the river of the Grand Canyon where we came to rest and to make our home there. And then they came back, the extraterrestrial elders, and they took us away from there. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay with my elders. If I had a choice to make, I wish I would have stayed back in time. I don't like it here. There's all kinds of neat stuff to do and to see and be a part of. It's nothing like today. I'm very different from humans today. I don't fit in. Humans today can't do what I can do. I'm more like my elders. We're made of real magic. And the foundation of who I am and my proof is solid as rock. The rocks that I'm written and recorded on, that are thousands of years older than all of you. And I was just a little kid. I don't like it here. You humans today are crazy, and you don't know anything at all. I miss the girl hiker and the lady staff member and the other hikers and my elders very much. I love them very much. That's the last time I had family. That was the last time I was happy in my life. Everything always gets taken away from me, and I'm tired of it.